This is the story of 3 days of thrills and excitement in hunt for giant skate and halibut. The next day, blowing colder from the west, saw us drifting again for ling off the cliffs of Hoy. We had almost 2 hours to kill before the tide would be right for an attack on the halibut in the fast waters of Hoy Sound. As we whiled away the time, the ling proved most cooperative in feeding greedily on our offered baits. There's no let-up when the ling are really feeding, and it soon becomes a frantic dash to bait up again as you take one fish after another. Great care had to be taken in this process, as it would have been very easy in our enthusiasm to receive a badly gashed hand from their razor-sharp teeth. We soon had a goodly-sized bag of fish between 10 and 15 pounds. And as the skipper headed towards Hoy Sound, the heavier tackle was made up in readiness for the halibut. A whole cuttlefish makes an ideal bait for halibut, which can grow to more than 300 pounds. They're tremendous fighters, using their powerful tails to drive them at great speed through the fast-moving waters of the tide rip. The baits were soon streaming out as we drifted, and in no time a big fish took Mike Shepley's bait. You could tell it was a halibut by the characteristic thumping of the tail, and the first uncontrollable, mad, headlong run that stripped yards of line off his reel. The fish was now tiring, as with rushes that became shorter and feebler, it was slowly but surely brought to the waiting gaff. A prime specimen of 62 pounds, carrying the scars of battle where the trace had torn its flesh on its first frantic efforts to break free. This was indeed a fine tribute to the richness of Orkney angling waters, and a triumphant end to our expedition. The halibut had been deep frozen, whilst we celebrated in the club that night, and on the following day it was presented to the Marie Curie Hospital in London by Joe Grimmond and his family on behalf of the Orkney Islands. The first halibut to be flown out of the Orkneys, but certainly not the last.